You're standing there, minding your own business, and your dog is doing their business, and then it happens. They turn their head, look you dead in the eyes, and just don't look away. Full, unblinking, intense, slightly uncomfortable eye contact. And somehow you're the one who feels weird about it. Most people laugh it off. But behavioral neuroscientists have actually studied this exact moment, and what they found is genuinely surprising. That stare isn't clingy. It isn't weird. It's one of the most sophisticated social behaviors your dog performs all day. And once you understand what's running in their brain during those 30 seconds, you'll never see that look the same way again. Let's dive in. 1. The evolutionary vulnerability of the moment. To understand why your dog is watching you, we have to start with a hard truth from the wild. Sleep and elimination are the two most vulnerable states any animal can ever be in. In the wild, every instinct in a canine's brain, instincts inherited from 15,000 years of predator-prey dynamics, is screaming at them to stay alert. When a dog is pooping, they are physically compromised. They're stationary. Their posture isn't exactly built for a quick escape, and they are essentially offline from their usual defensive readiness. For their ancestors, the wolves, being caught in this position could be the difference between life and death. Even though your suburban backyard or a quiet city park is technically safe, your dog's nervous system is still running that ancient software. They aren't looking at you because they're shy. They're looking at you because they need to know if they can afford to keep their guard down for these 30 seconds. Here's the part most people don't know. Researchers have found that dogs are one of the only non-human animals on the planet that will spontaneously seek out a human's eyes during a moment of stress. Not another dog, not their surroundings, your face specifically. Wolves raised by humans don't do this. Chimpanzees don't do this. Only domestic dogs have developed this reflex, and it happened because of 15,000 years of living inside our world. Your dog isn't just looking at you, they evolved at a genetic level to look at you. 2. You are the secure base. This brings us to a concept that researchers at the Clever Dog Lab called the secure base effect. In 2013, scientists designed a study where they gave dogs a puzzle they couldn't solve alone. They found that when the owner was in the room, the dog stayed with the task longer and felt more capable of exploring. But when a stranger replaced the owner, that boost vanished entirely. What this tells us is that your dog uses your presence the way a toddler uses a parent at the edge of a playground, not as a crutch, but as a reference point that makes the rest of the world feel navigable. When your dog locks eyes with you while they're pooping, they are treating you as their secure base. They are essentially saying, I'm vulnerable right now, so I'm going to use your eyes and your posture to tell me if the environment is still safe. They aren't waiting because they're fragile. They're waiting because with you as their lookout, they feel ready to do what they need to do. 3. The science of referential looking. But there's a second, even more sophisticated thing happening underneath that stare, and it's called referential looking. Researchers at the University of Milan studied this by showing 75 dogs a strange, streamer-covered fan. Over 83% of the dogs, immediately after seeing the scary object, turned to look at their owner's face. This wasn't just a random glance. They were looking for a live source of information to help them make sense of the world. The study found that if the owner had a positive expression, the dog moved toward the object. If the owner looked worried, the dog moved away. When your dog is pooping and staring at you, they are performing a consultation. They are monitoring your facial muscles and your emotional energy for any sign of a threat. To consult you, they have to see you, which is why they choose that specific angle to maintain continuous visual access to their primary information source, you. 4. Genetic predisposition to human connection. You might wonder why they don't just look at another dog or rely on their own ears. The answer is written directly into their DNA. In 2017, researchers at Princeton found that domestic dogs carry structural variants in genes like GTF2I, the same genes that, in humans, are associated with extreme sociability and a compulsive drive to connect with others. Wolves don't have these variants. Dogs do. This means your dog is genetically hardwired to find your presence rewarding and your face informative. They have spent months building a psychological model of you as the most reliable predictor of unwilling words, events that matter in their world. Whether it's who opens the fridge or who reaches for the leash, you are the center of their data-gathering universe. So when they're in a moment of physical vulnerability, their first and most powerful instinct is to check in with the person who has always been their most trusted guide. 5. The nervous system sync. It gets even deeper when you consider that your dog isn't just watching your eyes, they're actually trying to sync their nervous system with yours. A 2024 study from Finland found that dogs and their owners show correlated heart rate variability patterns, meaning their autonomic nervous systems actually fall into sync, especially during rest or quiet moments. This co-regulation is why simply sitting in the same room as your dog can lower their cortisol levels as much as active petting. When your dog stares at you during their walk, they are checking to see if your internal mental state is calm. If you are stressed, scrolling through work emails, or ruminating on a problem, your dog can actually pick up on that elevated stress baseline. They are looking to see if your nervous system is signaling all clear, because if you're relaxed, they can finally relax enough to finish their business. 6. What your dog is really watching for. So, what exactly are they watching for in that gaze? They are watching for intelligent uncertainty management. They are monitoring the odds that something relevant is about to happen in the environment. If you suddenly look alert, or if your body language shifts, they will interpret that as a signal that the vulnerability of their position is no longer acceptable. They've spent their entire lives chaining your routines, learning that when you grab your keys, it means you're leaving, or when you reach for a specific coat, it means a long walk. They apply that same predictive logic to your face while they poop. If you stay still, maintain a soft gaze, and remain calm, you are providing the psychological evidence they need to know that their current world is stable. You aren't just a pet owner in that moment, you are a biological stabilizer. 7. Practical tips for the awkward moment. Now that we know the science, how should we handle this? The research suggests that the best thing you can do is actually quite simple. Stay present. Instead of feeling awkward and looking away, try holding a soft, calm eye contact for just a few seconds. In 2015, a study published in the journal Science showed that when dogs and owners engage in this kind of mutual gaze, both experience a simultaneous surge in oxytocin, the bonding hormone. By looking back at them with a relaxed expression, you're not just being a lookout, you're opening a neurochemical loop that reinforces their sense of safety and trust. Also, try to avoid work-related rumination during your walks. Your dog is reading your internal state, and if you can mentally leave work at the door, your dog will finish their walk in a much better emotional state. 8. The highest compliment. It's easy to feel like our dogs are being clingy or strange when they follow us into the bathroom or stare at us during their own bathroom breaks. But the science of animal cognition offers a much more beautiful explanation. That shadow at your heels and that unblinking stare are the results of 15,000 years of evolution, specifically designed to make nearness to you rewarding. Your dog isn't staring because something is wrong with them. They're staring because you are the most interesting, most useful, and most trusted thing in their entire world. They have positioned themselves at the point of most efficient sensory access to you because they have spent every day of their lives building a picture of you as the ultimate source of safety. That awkward look, it's actually one of the highest compliments they can give you. So the next time you find yourself in that staring contest, remember what's actually happening. Your dog is running a real-time vulnerability check, monitoring your posture, your face, your nervous system, to decide if the world is safe enough for them to let their guard down. And research shows the best thing you can do is simple. Stay present, hold a soft gaze, and let them know you've got the watch. One small thing you can also try: let them lead with their nose more often. Studies show that dogs who get olfactory freedom on walks are measurably more optimistic and less stressed overall. It costs you nothing, and it means everything to them. That stare isn't awkward, it's trust. It's 15,000 years of evolution pointing directly at you and saying, "You are my safe place." Does your dog do this? Or are they the rare type who finds a hidden corner? Drop it in the comments, and if you want to keep decoding what your dog is actually telling you every day, the next video is going to surprise you even more.